Hello, due to battery failure, dodgy cables and me just not pressing the record button, this is the fourth time I have reviewed Starfighters. So you think I would actually get the name right and not put an S on the end and actually do a fairly decent review, but that may not prove the case. Starfighters is a two-player card game with boards that represent your battle cruiser, which is at the back of the board, and the field that you deploy your ships to. Your ships will always stay on your side, but the interesting thing is you are both drawing from the same deck, so all cards are potentially yours. You will initially draw the cards that you have visible here, so for every hand holding a card you will draw one, so I will draw 5 cards. What I'm trying to do is build my ships into columns that will then attack the other person, destroying any columns of ships they have and hopefully sending damage through to their battle cruiser. The battle cruiser to go the furthest past destruction loses the game. You will notice that the columns are not all equal. Depending on which boards you choose, you may have 3 large columns or 2. You may be able to draw only 4 cards at the start of the game as opposed to 5 or 6. Your health may be lower or higher. The cards in themselves are very interesting. On this side, which is technically the back, they have playable ships. So you can always play 2 on the top with no power. This little symbol tells you what is on the other side of the card, because you don't just play cards like that, you play them covering each other up. So I know quickly that there is 2 ships hidden under there, which is important when you're deciding what to do, particularly with your opponent. On the back of these cards is one that I've dropped on the floor. That never happened in the previous 4 recordings, or 3, I've lost count now. More exciting options. Now the main thing with these, it's important, I'm not going to go through all the powers today, but is this icon in the top left corner, which relates to the level that they can be played on. Once they have been played, they can move, but this card and this card can only be played on this top level, and they must have all the ships underneath it required before they can be played. Once they have been played there, through powers such as this or this, they can be moved around. You obviously want some of your better cards towards the bottom sometimes. Cards with no symbol on or with a lesser symbol can be played there. So although that can only be played there, this one can be played there or above. So it's just an initial playing thing. You will notice that the cards have ships on different halves and a different amount. That is because once you have built your column up, your attack power for each column will be equal to the amount of visible ships. So if I play that one there, for example, and that one there, although I know I have 3 ships, I've only got 1 visible, so my attack power would only be 1. Each go you will play cards 1 at a time until one of you passes. The first player to pass takes the initiative marker, meaning they will decide how the battle goes, and they will also get to choose whether to shift their battle cruiser left 1 or right 1. Which means you can build really cleverly, because you can make someone think that you're going to build towards the middle and then shift the battle 1 to the right, 1 to the left, and completely destroy their plan. However, if you pass, the other player can play out as many cards as they can or want to and build quite a good row of ships. So let's say that I have built my ships like this, even though I know it's illegal after what I've just been showing you. This would have an attack power of 2. Let's say I've passed first, so I've got the initiative. I don't want to move the board. My opponent will take round wooden tokens for the amount of ships visible. So they would take 2 tokens there. And let's say they attacked me for 3. I would take 3. I would play the damage, and I would reveal this ship. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned yet is the other icons. Icons activate any time they are made visible again. So when I play this card, I will resolve both these abilities. Now that this card on top has been destroyed, this has become visible again, so I will play that ability, but not that one, because that has remained visible. So before I play the power, I will resolve that ability, that will destroy that, and then this ability becomes visible and I can use that again. Bearing in mind we all have access to the same cards, this creates some interesting combos. There are shed loads of powers available. They are all listed on the back of the manual. There is a training mode you can play if you're new to this sort of game, or you can just add all the powers in and have what they call Total War mode. So, what do I think of Starfighters? Starfighter. There's not got an S on the end. I apologise again. I think the intimidation factor on this game is quite high. There is a lot of iconography, and though the instruction manual on the back does a good job of breaking it down and telling you exactly what you can do, the instruction manual itself is a bit difficult to get through. So there is an intimidation factor there. Certainly the first time I played it, it had the instruction manual there as we played through. The rule book therefore is okay. So there is intimidation factor, there is a rule book to get through. Fun-wise and playability, I absolutely love this game. I love the way it works. I love the way that when powers are revealed, they activate. So your opponent really has to think twice about whether they want you to activate that power or not. The powers are awesome in terms of how you can manipulate the cards. You can flip cards over, so you can have a really rubbishy card down on your pile, but you know that as soon as they attack the card above, you're going to flip that over and you've got 3 ships. And that's something they can't predict. Although they can see what's hidden, they can't see what's on the other side. What I also really like is a lot of the powers can be played on your side of the board or your opponent's. So your opponent can build this really powerful stack of ships, and you can play a card that lets you move the most powerful one out of it. Then you pass and you move that one to their ship to one of the end columns. You pass and take the initiative and move that column out of the way, and all of a sudden their plans are totally destroyed. I just like it so much. Because it is hard to get into, it's hard to find regular people who will sit down and play it with me. That is a downside. But I really, really rate this game. I think Starfighters has a lot to offer. I've tried to give you a quick overview, but it really is the powers and how they combo and the fact that they're always activating that makes this game excellent. And when you manage to destroy a column, if you've managed to do it with power left over, the battle cruiser is going to take that damage, and it actually occurs a lot quicker than you might think. So I like this game a lot, despite the difficulties in the instruction manuals, in the intimidation factor. It is one I do recommend. I have recorded this a number of times now. I'm still bored deck and dice. Thank you so much for watching and putting up with my consistently low production values. See you next time. Oh no!